Come with us now, if you dare, down a rickety staircase into a dank, dark basement. What awaits? The Saturday Night Freak Show.
Hey, thanks for listening to the Saturday Night Freak Show podcast, the movie review and talk show podcast that comes your way every Saturday, whether you're ready for it or not, in our quest to take over the world. But these are the internet radio superstars.
Holly.
Sean.
Michaela.
And I'm Colin.
And he pointed at us so we knew who he was talking about.
Yes.
Us.
Yes.
The internet radio super. Who else would I be talking about? I think we are the only. Oh, that's right.
Igor.
You just got very solemn. So like, it's a serious moment.
It's like an NPR episode. Lower our timbre and our talking speed.
I'm Holly. Thank you for joining us.
Well, tell us who picked tonight's movie.
Now he's leaning into it.
Oh, God.
Michaela.
Michaela, I'm sorry. We got all quiet and solemn. I forgot what we were doing. Michaela, what do we watch tonight?
Depends on who you ask and where you ask.
Is it all,
the first name of this movie is Stagefright.
Okay.
You might also know it as Aquarius, which is what a lot of the DVD covers say.
Yeah,
you might also know it as Soundstage Massacre. You might also know it as Deliria. You might also know it as Bloody Bird.
Bloody Bird.
Okay. Now, we need to unpack that for a second. Aquarius,
yeah.
Why?
What's the
no idea.
Aquarius symbol?
Like the age of Aquarius?
Yes.
Yeah, but Aquarius, I actually looked that up because I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But Aquarius, the sign of Aquarius is
Right.
associated with the owl.
There we go. Okay.
That is still a stretch, yeah.
Yeah.
From the year
1987.
87.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Directed by
Michaela Suave.
Suave.
Yes.
Suave. We love a Suave.
We remember him.
Previous episode, Cemetery Man.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Directed.
Yeah.
And
We've done
then-
a couple, haven't we? Maybe not directed,
Well,
but
he's
his
been
involvement.
in stuff.
Yes.
Wasn't he in?
He was a protege of Dario Argento,
Yeah.
so he was the assistant director on Tenebrae, and he had like lots of background parts in a lot of movies like that.
Okay.
But is he most memorable like on Demons? He was the guy who hands out the ticket, who wears like the half.
Yes.
Yeah.
Metal
Definitely
mask.
not memorable for Cemetery Man. Fuck that movie.
I know.
You know.
Did not care for that movie.
Yeah,
I
I think that's probably like his best or most well regarded,
Yes.
right?
That's
Because
unfortunate.
this was his first movie,
Okay.
right?
Yep. Directorial debut.
Yeah.
So he's been stuttering under the
Suave.
grates in Italy for all this time, and where they're going to let the baby bird out of the nest with this one, right? So,
pun intended.
Yes.
He
Yeah.
said he was offerred it, so he took it
Yep.
to have a directorial
Hey, why not?
experience.
Never know where you're
And
gonna get
after
offer,
that, he
yeah.
directed.
I'm looking.
Well, there's only like
Suave.
two
Yeah,
others
there's only,
that
like, two
anyone
other
would have
ones.
heard of. And then
the church and the sect?
Yes.
Gotcha.
And then
Okay.
Cemetery Man.
Yep.
And then he
Wait,
kept
is
working.
the church
but-
and the sect the name, or is it the church?
Two movies.
And two separate movies?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
The church.
The church, 1989,
Okay.
sect,
The sect.
1991.
Although I think the church
Unrelated.
falls into that, like,
Maybe.
it maybe, depending on where you saw the church, it might have been like Demons 4.
Oh,
or
no.
something. It was one of those.
I
like-
forgot. Where they're Italian. They just take names and make sequels no matter what.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, we might have to do the sect on the show, guys.
I know I've wanted to see that one forever and have never gotten around to it. I think it was unavailable or something.
The IMDb logline says a lonely kindergarten teacher discovers a secret well in the basement of her house and soon finds herself being followed by a murderous satanic cult.
I'm in.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a well in the Beyond in the basement? Or wasn't there
It was
flooding?
flooded.
It was flooded.
It was
That's the only
flooded.
that's it.
Remember Ken Foree was in his underwear in that dirty flooded water? We felt so bad for him.
What, in the Beyond?
Yeah.
Well, that wasn't Ken Foray. Who was
This
that?
guy looked like Ken Foree.
Yeah. Right. The Lucio Fulci movie.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Oh, it was Joe the Plumber. Joe the Plumber was down there. Remember? He got the-
Yep.
yeah.
What movie was this?
The Beyond.
Beyond.
Which
We watched during COVID.
So,
Did we? We watched it
Yeah.
way before that, didn't we?
no,
Oh,
we watched it way
We
back
watched
in
it
the day.
way before
Yeah,
that.
on the show.
I don't remember this at all.
What did we? What? Yeah, you're talking about something else.
Am I
then.
talking about something else? Am I thinking of From Beyond?
From Beyond.
yeah.
Yes,
That's what it is.
okay, yeah,
From
yeah.
Beyond,
Yep.
not the Beyond. Yeah.
Right, where he was in his
Yes.
skivvies.
Yes.
And like,
we had a
all
whole
that
conversation
clop.
about it. Like, what do you guys not remember this? He was in his underwear in
That's the one.
freezing
okay,
water in the
yeah,
basement.
Ken
Yeah.
Foree.
Ken
Okay.
Foree. Yeah. I was like, geez.
It's like no different. Now we're just. I'm
Yep,
getting all
yep.
of our basements.
I know. Does
confused.
Yep.
the Beyond need to come back to the freak show? No, okay.
4K restoration
Yeah.
just came out.
Right.
Looking
Yeah.
pretty.
It's Lucio Fulci's best
That's
movie.
the blind lady with the dog has the famous.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
how I distinguish that.
Squeaky spiders. That's yeah. All right.
Yeah,
The guy
maybe he
gets
does need to
eaten
come
by
back.
spiders.
Okay, but this
the
movie.
ginger child who gets killed. Yeah,
Yes.
I remember this movie. Yeah.
Okay, so it's Italian. The guy studying under Dario Argento. So I guess the first question is it a giallo?
No.
No.
Okay.
It is an American slasher movie.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right. So
yeah.
like that's like what makes this movie feel weird. Is
That's what makes it feel weird.
okay. Well, I guess it has a tempo that's different than other giallo
Yeah.
movie because it's Italian. It feels like we should be doing that, but it isn't. It's like distinctly. This is a slasher movie.
It reminds me of when the British tried it. The couple of times we've done those, like those 3 British slashers that exist. I think we've done all of them at this
Yeah.
point. Slaughter High, Don't Open Till Christmas, and there was like one other one. But
Well, we got reprimanded that we didn't mention all the Pete Walker movies
Okay,
of the
well,
70s or whatever.
we'll
But
get to
whatever.
those.
Yeah, we'll get it.
but it does feel slightly off because you know the formula and you know the beats it's going to hit, but the way they get to those beats is always a little different.
Is it
It's
like
always a little Italian.
But that's
a little Italian.
I think that is kind of what's always been, at least my kind of interest in Italian movies. It's like watching, like a slasher movie, but it's like taking place in an alternate universe,
Right.
where
Yes.
you're just like, what? This doesn't feel quite right. This one gets off to like a totally
Dramatic.
bizarre start that was unexpected. Well,
Welcome.
Okay.
okay, so if anyone's heard of this movie, what do they know about it?
What I knew about it was it takes place on a theater stage, owl mask slasher. That's all I knew.
The owl.
That was enough for me to say I'm in.
So a slasher movie villain, the slasher will always use some type of mask to disguise themselves. Why not a big giant owl head?
It's creepy. It's really creepy. There's some scenes in this movie that were scarier than I expected,
Yeah.
Very humorous.
especially in the third act. We'll get to it.
Okay. All right. So that's what you know about the
Yeah,
movie.
when that mask is coming down on you and you got those fucking bird eyes.
Yeah.
Bird eyes.
It is cool that they show it in full light a lot of the time too. Like it's not being hidden or obscured. You're seeing the whole
Somebody put some
thing.
love into that headpiece.
It's
But it-
unusual.
But that's why it's a good idea to set it at a theater because anything could make sense because
Right.
it's all part of the
You can
costume
get away
department.
with, yeah. I do want to do
Yeah,
a
we're
plug
looking at you,
here for
opera.
there is an indie movie out there called The Lord of Tears, where it is like the owl man appear, and it looks like this,
Cool.
but I don't know. I haven't actually seen it. I've always kind of wanted to. It's like super, like indie funded and whatever.
Nice.
But Lord of Tears. So there
Some
you
of
go.
the stuff in this one reminded me of Cuckoo, just a little bit. Like just the atmosphere of it. Cuckoo felt like a kind of a fever dream-ish type thing.
I can see that.
Kinda like
yeah.
just a little bit.
That was good. I like that.
I did not like.
I
that
didn't care
movie.
for
I didn't care for it either.
There you go.
Yep.
It's an interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't hate it, but
Yeah.
I didn't hate it, but I didn't care for it.
Yeah, that's how I feel too.
So what's the setup of this movie? What's going on here?
So these Italian theater kids are putting on a play.
They're kids.
Wait, before we get to the play, we should really start from the beginning. We start with a prostitute on a street corner.
Who doesn't know?
Yeah.
And very important here, supporting character is a trash can on fire.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Which
yeah.
like it means one of two things in a movie. You're in the bad side of town, or you're a post-apocalyptic future, or both.
Or
Yeah.
the Jets
Or
and the
both.
Sharks are about to start fighting.
Yes, on the rough side of town. Yeah, you're always in the bad neighborhood if there's a trash can in an alley on fire.
It made me wonder, when I was a kid, my grandma always had a barrel in her backyard that we'd have like barrel fires. And it struck me that that's weird.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know anyone that's done a barrel fire in their yard.
Wow, my grandma had a barrel. We always had barrel fires. That's probably not normal.
Well, you just replaced it with a fire pit as you got older,
Yeah.
but
That's true. But it
Yeah.
was like a full-on like tanker barrel. Like,
yeah.
Barrel fires and not thinking anything was weird.
isn't that weird? Okay. It was like they had a normal house. It was just in the backyard, and instead of a fire pit, it was a barrel.
But it is short code in a movie. Whenever you see the barrel
Yeah.
fire, it's like, okay, this is the bum fire.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
This is,
Yes.
in
Yeah.
Skid Row.
Yep.
So we're in Skid Row with a
The
prostitute.
unhoused fire.
Yes.
and somebody goes by, but we never actually
Yeah.
cut to see who they are.
Right.
And we're like, okay, do they not have a budget?
Sean
What's
even
going
called
on
out
here?
that it was looking very stagey.
Yeah, when it first came out, I'm like, why does this seem so stagey? And this lady who doesn't know how to smoke seems very performative.
Yep.
And then all was revealed by a dancing owl.
by an owl that jumps through a doorway and somersaults onto a stage into a dance number. This
was-
editing cut is
was wonderful.
beautiful.
Yeah, because then the music kicks in and it's all rock, and we're like, what the fuck is happening?
This is after he has strangled the woman we see at the beginning.
Right.
So he's grabbed her from the
Yeah.
shadows and pulled her into the alleyway.
Yeah.
Killed her. And as people rush out to touch her, is
Yeah.
what's going on. He swan dives over them out of the alley and then begins a full dance routine.
And like
Which is
dance
very
routine,
dramatic.
we mean like ballet jumping and
Yes.
spinning in the air.
Pirouettes
Yeah.
and twists and turns. And, yeah.
Would it have been better if there was an
No.
actual musical number here, like a song
Yes.
to go with the dance?
The answer is no. It could not have gotten better. It could not have been better.
I would have appreciated if they went to a full song that the credits went over and then the movie started. That's how I would have done it.
I
But
did like the woman in the Marilyn Monroe dress playing the saxophone.
You
up
didn't
in-
like her?
I did.
Oh yeah, I was
That
like,
was
she's
a
the star
nice
of the
touch.
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stan her.
they even had the wind blowing on her to give the same effect as Marilyn over the subway grates.
Yeah.
Yeah. Playing sexy saxophone. Yep.
Yeah.
So we're quickly introduced that, hey, all this. So you are in a theater.
Yes.
With these theater kids. They're all like in their 30s.
They're getting paid. We know it's a paid job and they're getting overtime
They're
too.
older. They're
So-
professional
They're-
actors.
yeah. They're not-
mid to late 20s.
I'm like,
Yeah.
they're not kids,
They're
but
not
they're
kids. No.
they're kids.
Okay,
Kids.
and they are putting on a performance that is called.
The owl.
The Night Owl.
The night owl.
Okay.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah,
Yes.
when he shuts the book at the beginning, we see
Oh, okay.
the Night
okay.
Owl.
So there's
All
a
right.
reason for the.
Because I'm curious. I just want to nail this down. What's that play about?
So it'd be like
yeah.
it'd be like if we made a play about the Night Stalker.
Okay.
And we just take a real life killing that happened and
Okay, but you say
Dramatize
play. What you mean is interpretive dance.
Yes, play is generous because there doesn't seem to be a script.
There's no.
There's no
It's all
spoken
about
dialogue.
vibes.
It is all about
feelings.
vibes.
But there's also rape scenes.
It's also rape
But
scenes.
they're just holding her upside down.
Like it looks like she's doing a keg stand.
I was like,
That was wild.
Yes.
There's like
Really.
two guys. Were they thrusting? They're holding her upside down. I'm like,
they're literally one is each one is holding like her feet and they're just hanging her upside down. And I'm like, I've always been one that I'm like, I hate rape scenes. It ruins the movie for me.
Yeah.
And then I see this and I'm like, you called my bluff.
See, I think
and now we will rehearse the rape scene.
I
And
think
we're
you were
like,
fighting
okay.
over who got to rape her first. Technically,
like holding like a chicken bone.
Yeah, no, it's mine. No, it's mine. No, I'm going first. Yeah,
I wish they would have put more into that.
yeah right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
a Three Stooges type
Yeah,
situation.
the focus
Yeah,
is
yeah.
elsewhere, but then we do get glimpses of what is happening on
Right.
stage.
Okay.
Well, you say it's based on a true event, but I don't think at this point it is. I think
No,
at some point
not
they
yet.
decide to
Right.
twist the concept.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
But
But
from
it's,
the
yeah.
scenes that we catch of this play, we know that there's a bunch of there's sexy women in their bedroom. There's prostitutes on the street. There's some type of rape scene. There's
Yeah.
no dialogue
No.
that we could tell. And there's a killer owl man.
Mm-hmm.
None of the characters make sense.
No.
We're told that this play is intellectual musical. It's an intellectual musical.
Yes.
Which means that that
Yes.
excuses everything. You'll never
This
understand.
is said by someone in the musical.
Yes.
Because she's trying to make it
Because
sound
she
cool.
doesn't
but yeah,
understand
she's
it.
in it.
Yes.
What kind of play is it? An intellectual musical.
I would
Say
walk
no
so
more.
far the other way if someone told me it's an intellectual musical. I'd be like, no.
No.
I did.
No.
I
No,
did
thank
like
you.
the fact that the director is talking to everybody at some point. Like, when was the last time you worked? We need to work on this because we need a hit with this play. Okay, all right, I got you. That's the world that we're in. So who are the people who are bringing this production to life?
So we've got the director guy. I don't remember what his name
Yeah, do we
was.
have names in it?
Right.
Allie is one of them.
And he is like
There's a
Laurel. There's a Willie. There's a
Brett.
Brett.
Was there a
Brett.
Cassandra? No.
No.
Cassie? No.
No.
It was Corrine.
David? Was David
Maybe.
the director?
Peter was
Damn
the
it.
director.
I knew it was biblical.
But is this a thing that happens in all slasher movies? Like the names of characters are kind of like
Depends on the impression they make
Yeah.
before they
Yeah.
are offed.
But this director is your typical like smug theater condescending elitist kind of like
Yes.
you just don't get it because it's too highbrow for you kind of
This is
vibe.
my art.
Yeah, exactly. And which makes just a delightful a victim for a slasher movie. I feel
Indeed,
like I love when
indeed.
they make me hate someone
Yeah,
right
we love
away.
when they kill an
yeah,
asshole.
yeah, it's the best.
Well, I was
More of this,
kinda-
please.
at one point later in the movie, I was sitting there going like, who's the main character of this movie?
Right.
And I
The
was
Owl
kind
Man.
of, was it? I was landing on the director because he seemed to
of
be,
the movie, not the
yeah,
the play.
of the movie, because I'm like, all right, who is our, like, who's our protagonist? And then I'm like, it's this unlikable bastard,
Right.
but he actually has the action like all the time. He
Yeah.
seems, unconcerned with what anybody else thinks.
Right.
And he's like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. This is happening. We need to do this. And so he was like driving the action of the plot.
It almost feels like he was the director of the movie, and he's like, nobody else can do this but me, and I will be
Yes.
front and center.
Yes.
And he's
Mhm.
like, I'm going to show off my acting, because he's very dramatic in
Very
certain
dramatic,
scenes. He's
yeah.
like, this is about me and what I'm doing. And she's like, I will take control. Feels like the director put himself in there and was like, I'm going to get the plum part.
Yeah. Well, at some point, he's even directing the killer like later on, or like trying to, but
yeah.
I thought they could have done more with that. But okay, so there's a smug director,
Right,
and then there's the leading lady.
Yeah.
Yes.
Who was
Don't know what her name was.
That's just
See.
Alicia, who is Allie, who Willie, I think Willie called her Allie.
There's
later on.
there's an Alicia.
Okay,
So let's
we're,
say
gonna
it's
go
her.
with we're just gonna call her Alicia.
Alicia, yeah.
She's the lead.
Yes.
Who early on experiences a was it a fall?
She twists her ankle.
twists her
Yeah.
Yeah.
She twists her
Okay.
But there's a lot of jumping and dancing in this play, and you have to have perfect ballerina form apparently to be in this interpretive dance disaster. And so they look up in the phone book and go to the nearest hospital, which they say was 5 minutes from there, something
Yeah,
like that.
the costume mistress has got this bright idea to take
Yeah.
her to a
Yeah.
quote unquote hospital.
But they have to sneak out because apparently this psychotic director locks down the set and literally no one can leave the building when they are.
Okay.
That's when you know you get a winner.
All right.
Rehearsing.
So right there.
Yes.
Right. So I'm sitting there going like, okay, we're watching a play being performed in a theater. And then after a while you start to go, there doesn't seem to be an auditorium here. There's like no seats for an audience. And then his like there, this becomes like a plot point. The doors get locked and nobody can get out. Then you're like, but can't you just go out to the lobby of the
Yeah,
theater?
We never see like a front entrance to this place.
Let's be real. This is a warehouse.
Yes.
It is.
They were going to have folding chairs.
Yeah, they
yep.
were gonna have folding chairs. This
Oh, yeah.
is very low budget.
And they were going to have to set them up and take them down themselves.
Yep.
So- yep.
100%.
Yep.
Okay, so you just lock the front door to the warehouse.
Yep,
Like
correct.
you just walk right into the auditorium.
It
There's
probably-
no box
Yeah.
office.
Do you know how like warehouses only have like 2 people doors and then have a bunch of garage doors? A lot of
Yeah.
times I bet you it's one of those. Like there's probably garage doors that you can't
Well, because
open.
there's
yeah.
that scene, like the only 2 doors we see, one of the doors
Right.
is next to a garage door.
Right.
Which I'm still wondering why they couldn't open that.
We see there's windows at one
There's
point in this
windows.
place.
Well, the
They tried
windows.
to hide those.
Yeah, the way that was shot, they're like off to screen
Right.
left.
They're like,
Yeah.
we have to show it just to get this shot, but we're gonna move over to the left real quick
Yeah.
just to make
Yeah.
you forget.
Like
them.
they could get out through the window. Okay, so it is a bunker
Yeah.
Yes.
with a
Traffic side.
psychotic director who will lock everything down. He hasn't yet,
Yeah.
but no, I guess he has.
No, he did because they have to sneak out. Remember, they have to go to Willie,
Yeah.
the security guard, and be like, "Please, just let us out. We're gonna run to the doctor and be right back." So it's like even before anything goes wrong, this guy's already locking you all in your job. Can you imagine if your boss went to work every day and was like, "Okay, guys, are you all in? We're locking the door for the day until your shift is over with." It's psychotic.
expected in like theater arts where it's like, well, people will be eccentric and we just kind of roll with it.
I think
because
so.
we're after something here.
Yeah. People make a lot of excuses for artists and the things they do
That's very
because they like
true.
their art. You know.
Lock them
It
in.
has happened a lot.
So the 2 girls get out and they go to the doctor. The doctor,
Dr. Feelgood.
The psychiatric
Dr.
doctor.
Feelgood.
Yeah.
yeah, because the only doctor that's actually 5 minutes away, it turns out to be a psychiatric clinic.
Yep.
Indeed.
It says mental hospital. She just saw hospital and didn't said doctor's a doctor. Not the same.
And we need somebody to look at her foot.
I mean, to be fair, there probably is a medical doctor there. So
Mhm.
Well, psychiatrists are medical doctors.
That's true. They can.
Yeah, but they don't take walk-ins to look at your
That's very
twisting.
true. I like
Right.
that.
No, unless they have ulterior motives.
Yeah.
like I'm not doubting that there's someone there that has the capabilities of looking at a twisted ankle. It's just not
yeah,
likely.
that's not your
It's just
specialty.
not
It could be
likely.
something that, yeah.
Yep.
So, but surprisingly, they do get seen
They do.
by a doctor.
Yeah,
But
molested a little bit.
Yeah.
yeah, we're like, what the hell? Like this guy. I know you said he gave her.
He
a
did.
shot.
He did
was
give
just
her a
checking
shot.
to make sure the rest of her leg was fine.
Yeah.
That's it. The ankle. Once you injure an ankle, the rest it could just run up the rest of the leg and
all the way.
Yeah,
to
'cause
the,
God knows-
multiple
the thigh.
problems.
We all,
on the thigh.
we all know a twisted ankle can spread.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I know. I
Thank
don't.
you.
Don't you hate how your cheek just hurts? You know,
Yeah.
when you twist your ankle, your ass hurts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm checking. He's like, I'm checking for sciatica.
Yeah.
The sciatic nerve runs all the way up. I have to check in each spot just to make sure.
He was very
trying to
thorough.
explain the
doctor.
motivation.
Well, I mean, it wasn't his specialty, so I mean, like,
Maybe
you
he
know.
was confused.
He was-
You're
yeah.
right.
It's been a while since I went
And
over
you
this
know-
in medical school.
Based on like this mental institution, it does seem like their method of treating people is just shoot them up with something. You know,
Yeah, well, I
it just
mean,
feels like just shoot them up, and send them
Why
on their
not?
way. They'll be
Why
fine.
not?
Yeah. But they see what was his name?
Allie takes a stop
Oh,
at a
yeah.
cell with
Yeah.
it's got bars on the door, and she has a moment with our killer.
Isaac?
Irving something.
Irving Wallace.
Irving, maybe.
I was gonna poll the group to
It's
see
Irving
like
Wallace.
Yeah.
the killer,
Yes,
right?
it is
The-
Irving
Yes.
Wallace, yeah.
So we see a guy in a
is
bed.
it Irving Wallace?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I have no idea. I was just like, maybe. They say it like once.
Yeah.
Like it's a big deal. We've got Irving Wallace.
Yeah.
And who is he?
A notorious
He-
serial killer?
Yeah. A notorious. Did they say he killed 12 people? Is that what they said?
He was an actor.
Yeah, he was an actor that went
Yeah.
crazy.
Was he?
Yeah.
All right, I missed
They
that.
say
part.
that.
Was
Yeah.
he?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that adds a lot. Fuck. I wish I'd picked up on that.
Yeah,
'cause
they
that
say
adds a lot to
He
this.
was an actor that like killed his
Oh.
lover / co-star and then killed a bunch of other people.
Oh, well, the entire movie makes sense now. What are we talking
Yeah,
about?
but I mean, but that information, I mean, I guess I did hear it, but it doesn't feel like the movie's really, it's just throwaway, you know?
It is until the dude's sitting in his
Yeah.
throne later on.
So we got a crazy psychopathic killer in the
Escape from a mental institution.
Yes.
There you go. That old chestnut.
the classic. That's how you know
Yeah.
it's an American slasher movie.
Right.
Oh yeah, the movie. Where's the movie take place?
I was like, that's how we know. And also because in the office, there's an American flag and a poster of all the presidents of the United States.
Yeah.
As there should be. God damn
That's
it.
how you know.
And I think there was a couple news weeks in time, and so then it's like, all right, so this is like Pieces. Right?
Right.
Pieces was the
Pieces
other one
was
that
like
did
that
it.
too,
Remember? It was like, yeah, this is America. Everyone will think it is. Because we routinely have theaters that are just no auditorium,
Yeah.
no seats. So how does the serial killer escape?
He gets into. How does he get into her car?
So yeah, he kills the
that's
orderly
right. Yep.
with a
syringe.
a needle in the neck,
in the neck.
and then he hides in their car.
Yep.
On his way out.
Mhm.
And he is then transported back to, the theater.
The theater. Yep.
Correct.
Just where he wanted to go.
Right? Back to the stage.
Yeah.
How did he know?
The stage
theater
calls
kid
to
always,
him.
Yeah.
The stage calls to him,
The theater kid
Michaela.
always knows.
But do they? So
They got
can
a
he
barometer
sense
for
that
the
they are
nearest
theater girls? How does he know to get in their car? Does he sense they're theater girls when they come by?
He can smell the stage lights on
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, he can smell the
Yeah.
the
And he's like, now's my chance to get back to the
Yeah.
theater.
yeah. it's just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
oh.
he's laying there with his like face turned the other way, and then all of a sudden he's like, "I smell pancake."
Yeah, the pancake is like, I'm staging a revival. I'm back.
My moment. See, they should have done something more about like the play that he was in and tied it
Yeah.
in.
It
right,
should have
some
been that
way.
it was the same play that he was in.
and then he got to finally, be
Right.
the part that he couldn't before, or
I
something.
think that is later on. That's what you get, but it should have been like more today. It would have been more him just like on the stage and then kind of looking up and presenting himself.
Yeah.
and maybe bowing.
I know.
It'd be like
Because I thought
that.
he,
He
I
would've
thought he was
bowed at
falling
the end.
asleep in the scene that he was
Right.
in. I was like, I'm done.
I was gonna say I thought it would have been like that scene in Ma at the end when you go down the. Anybody remember we go at
I
the
missed
end?
Ma.
And,
I didn't
oh,
see
you
it.
didn't.
Oh, in the basement?
Yeah, the basement.
Yeah.
scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
It was in the trailer, unfortunately.
It's in the yeah.
but it shouldn't have been. It shouldn't have been, but it was.
the reveal, that
Yeah.
big reveal in the trailer. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I was like, nothing is a
Yeah.
surprise in that movie.
Yeah.
So the escape mental patient. So I guess this is also the thing with like slashers, giallos, and all that. It's like a lot of times you don't know who the killer is, and there's an unmasking like later on, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's I guess that's the 10 Little Indians slasher movie plot. And then this one seems to be riffing maybe on like Halloween, right?
Yeah, where you
he's
know
an
who
escaped
it is.
mental patient and we know his name. And it's just creepy that he's there wearing a mask.
Which that part is where my like wires got crossed because I was totally in the mindset of like Giallo. We got to figure out who is the killer, and I was like, wait, no, we know,
Yeah.
we know. This is not a Giallo.
Because
yeah.
you've argued against this many times. Like, I know who it is.
Yeah.
We don't have to play around
Yeah.
with who done it because
It's just
We know,
weird to be
yeah.
watching an Italian movie that's trying to do an American movie. It's so weird. It's so weird.
I think it's important that we talk about who the actual hero of this movie is.
Oh,
Lucifer.
Lucifer.
everyone, myself included, thought I picked a movie where a cat died because
we thought a cat was getting drowned.
I was
as
like,
this
yeah,
movie
because the
starts.
opening of the movie, you just hear a cat in distress.
Right. Then we
And
found out
water
the cat
splashing,
is a murderer and
Yeah.
drowned someone based on audio.
yeah, the cat lives. Lucifer, the black
Lucifer.
cat that
Bless
lives. That's the state. Is Willie's cat, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
This cat's a good cat. It's a good
Great cat actor.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But is it like massively an unlucky? Does it cause everything?
No.
There's such
No,
a
I don't think
focus
so.
on this cat running around. People make the comment of the cat crossed my path. You know,
Right.
of course, she dies.
Right.
So it's like, is the cat bringing bad luck to the?
No, Willie's bringing bad luck.
If you want, yeah, true.
yeah, Willie's the problem.
Wait, how?
blame the cat. Don't
Yes,
blame the
Willie's
cat.
the stagehand, right?
Yeah,
How is he
Willie's the
bringing
stage
bad
hand.
luck?
Lucifer's the stage manager.
Yes.
Yeah.
Willie's in charge of security when he shouldn't be.
Yeah,
At this
seriously.
point.
It's like anybody's like, Willie, I need to get out and go to the doctor, and he's like, well,
Yeah, but if you just give him a little pinch on his cheek
Yep.
and talk sweet to him, he'll do anything.
And
you
he
want.
take
keeps-
the key and put it back when you come back.
His spot for keeping the key is like a cracked brick
It's a
ledge.
cracked brick, yeah.
he
You
just
could do
sticks
this
it.
better.
Like, come on, you can't even get a key hook, my dude.
Right?
Like you
And
are
a
the
hook. How hard
stagehand.
is
Yeah,
that?
exactly.
2 times he does this in
Yeah.
the movie. He lets somebody in where they
Yes.
shouldn't go. This is the door that's then open so the killer can gain access
Mm-hmm.
to the theater. He kills one woman outside. Oh, a torrential rainstorm
Yes.
happens as they do in slasher films. How did he kill her? Oh,
she
I
gets-
feel
well,
like they
she-
were really proud of this rain.
Yeah,
The way they were shooting it, they
Right.
were really proud of this rain.
it looks pretty
it's
good.
their first
rain.
time.
Yeah.
They're like,
It's
we
good
like
rain.
these rain towers.
So she gets fired for sneaking out, and she's on her way to her car, and she gets a pickaxe to the mouth.
Yeah.
Pretty
Which
cool.
The scene, it
No.
was cool,
She
but it
didn't
was
get fired.
She didn't get fired.
She had dropped off
Yeah.
Allie to go inside.
Yeah.
She had gone
She's
inside.
like,
She's
oh,
like,
the one
the
who went
lights on
inside
my
was the one who got
car.
fired.
And then she
Yeah,
went
she
back
was like,
outside.
I'll meet you there. And then
Yep.
she's like, oh, should I left the lights on? So
Yep.
she went back out.
And then she gets a pickaxe to the mouth.
Yeah.
yeah, but this one, like,
After
I
getting
mean,
scared by Lucifer in her car.
Yeah.
and I guess, it's like as we kind of gauge these things, it is when you watch slasher movies, the death scenes become like the star,
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, how well do they pull them off? This one was shot of a pickaxe swinging at the camera, and then there's the woman with the prosthetic pickaxe or
Yeah.
whatever sticking out of her mouth. There's no impact. And I was like, okay, I mean, you can do better than this.
But I did
Let's see.
appreciate how she like fell on her knees and bent backwards.
Yeah,
when She
okay.
went
Yeah.
down.
You
I
gotta
thought
judge
that
it
was
by-
cool.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. You judge it by the sound. If it sounds good, because apparently, they're doing what they can with the actual the
Yeah.
prosthetics and the no prosthetics and the props
Yeah.
with the axe and everything. So
Yeah. Of the deaths in this movie, this was a weaker one.
yeah,
Not a good one to start with.
yeah.
A couple of the early ones, I think there was one that was maybe off camera, but cast members start dying. Oh, well, no.
It was the not Paul Sorvino guy was off camera, wasn't he?
Oh, right. Mr. Ferrari.
Yeah.
Mr. Ferrari
Ferrari.
looks like Paul Sorvino.
Yes.
Holy
Yeah.
cow.
Just like
He
him.
does.
But
There's
he's,
a couple people in this movie who look like other actors.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
What's his what's
Well, yeah. But like, who are they? I guess Mr. Ferrari's like the bank man or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
He's got
He's the money
carrying
guy.
around
Yeah.
the attaché
Financier.
case.
He's the creepy money guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's like, please let me help you.
And there was a guy who looked like Sting.
No.
Yes, he did.
Yes.
Who's definitely straight.
Don't worry about it.
So
got his-
straight that he got a woman
He
pregnant.
got his girlfriend pregnant.
Definitely
Apparently,
straight.
definitely
Yes.
straight.
Was there somebody else who looked like?
The one did the director kind of look a little bit like he was like a combination of Brando and the guy who just played Brando in the movie.
Oh,
Billy
Billy
Zane?
Zane.
Yeah, he's a little.
I was thinking
a little-
kind of Kyle MacLachlan.
I was like
comic
Peter
book- I
Gallagher.
was trying to figure out his. What,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, for
that's
sure.
good. But he's got like eyes that I'm trying to pin down. That I'm just
Yeah.
like, there's an actor who looks like this, but I can't think of it. He looks like an old noir. He looks like an old timey actor.
That's why you get casting. You got that
Right.
movie star look
Right.
or
Someone
whatever.
specific he looks like. I can't
Yeah,
think
he
of the
looks
guy's
like
name.
someone. I
Hold
can't,
on.
or a Cannavale, or a little bit. If he were evil, like Bobby Cannavale,
What's that dude's name?
or the other
Oh,
guy.
God.
Yeah,
He played the young guy in Shawshank. What was his name?
the young guy in Shawshank.
Tim Robbins?
No.
No, the young
No, that's
guy.
that's our handsy doctor.
Yeah, that's
Howard
right.
the Duck Doctor
Right.
moved over to this movie.
Yeah, seriously.
Well, the
Because when that movie's like, I came to watch you undress was one
Right,
of his
yeah,
lines in the movie.
exactly. That's right. I forgot about that.
so I mean, I guess these cast members are going to get killed, but what are their like? So our main woman, Allie, like, what's her like arc, or what do we know about? Because she's going to be the final girl, I
She's
guess.
got a really expensive watch. That's all I got.
There was
Yeah,
some
is she trying
sentimental
to-
attachment to it,
Yeah.
but something.
Does she change? Does she go from one place to another?
I don't
over
really
the-
think she does.
It doesn't feel like she does.
We don't really know anything about these people.
No, not too much. This is a bottle
Yeah.
episode
Yes.
of
Yes.
a movie that we got going on here.
And the movie just kind of decides it. I guess maybe that's the other thing then you look for in slasher movies is like who's going to be the final girl.
Mhm.
But again, I guess I was distracted going like the protagonist is the director.
Right.
Or, you know, I mean,
That's what it
he's a
felt
bad
like.
guy, but providing the forward momentum.
Right.
So then it's like, okay, is he going to end up like saving somebody and it's going to be a two survivor movie?
Mhm.
Or is there a final girl? And then I guess you're going with her because we followed her to the doctor.
Yeah.
Somehow she was responsible in
I kind
some
of wish
way of
somebody else had
letting the
stuck
killer
around
out.
because when we just get down to her, it's not. I guess it's not the most interesting.
And we still have Lucifer.
It's not He's few and far between. He jumps out.
He comes in at the third act in a big way.
He does.
So.
He is
Plus, I mean, I would like it to be noted on the record. I picked a movie with a cat prominently featured in it. Did not die.
Did not
That's,
So-
There
that's
you go.
important.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it did not die. I
Yeah.
thought it might, but because I picked this
Breaking
sight unseen. So
Tradition here on the
Yes.
Saturday Night Freak Show. So the killer sneaks in, and I think quickly. Oh, there's a couple things happen. The cops actually do show up, like
Right.
in force. There's a big scene out in the rain, because this woman has been killed in the parking lot, and they're like, telling her. So everybody knows Irving
Wallace.
is on the loose. You right?
Yeah.
And we search the whole building for him. And okay, we're going to go home. And the director is like, we're not going home. We're all going to stay here and perform the show because we're
If you
like,
look down like this the entire time.
who are you talking about?
He played Tommy in Shawshank.
Who was the actor?
Gil Bellows.
Oh, Gil Bellows. Yeah.
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 I think that's who he looks like.
Yeah,
Okay.
He's just giving evil
The director,
eyebrows.
yeah. So the director says, right, we can make a fortune off of this. This is the publicity that you can't buy.
He's not wrong.
You know what? I gotta say, I don't think this is a bad idea.
He's not wrong.
Like morally, yeah, it's
Morally, it's
reprehensible.
bankrupt. Yeah.
Reprehensible, but like capitalistically and from a creative perspective, you're getting handed this creative opportunity that you're never going to get handed again. You might as well
Yeah.
take
And
it.
he
You
does-
understand human nature.
Yes.
There will-
Exactly.
yeah.
And he does a little thing because he talks to the reporters who were all there, and he's like, we told the reporters that the woman who died was an actress in the show. Because you want people that mystery. It's like, oh, an actress in the show, she died. Like, what's it gets interest in the show.
I mean,
Yeah, I want to go see that new show where that girl died.
Right, yeah.
yeah, I was up.
Because it's our problem.
Yeah.
He's like, man, they're going to come anyway.
I mean,
true.
I was
Cash registers will ring.
I was very invested in Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark when they kept nearly killing stunned people. Like, that was that had the body count of like 6 or 7 people getting like seriously injured.
Yeah. Did nobody die during that? I thought somebody died.
No, I think people got like paralyzed and stuff
think
though.
anybody died.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
'cause
just
were
got
swinging across
Yes.
like actual like theaters,
yes,
Yeah.
and the harness would break.
yes. It happened a lot. It
I know,
happened
I
way
call-
more than it should have.
Did that show run? Or was it? Did
They-
it close
I
down
think they
before it
closed
ran?
I think they finally closed it down, but it
It
took
ran.
like 8 people getting injured
Damn.
for them
I
to
kind
close
of call
it down.
bullshit though, because has anyone watched Rust?
No,
There you
but I
go.
mean,
Nobody has
But-
watched that.
There are exceptions to the rule.
yeah.
Yeah, nobody has watched that.
No, is
No.
it out? Oh,
Yeah,
no,
they
don't-
released it.
Yeah, it's
oh,
out.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, don't watch
Yeah.
Rust. No,
Yeah.
Exactly.
Um,
Not always the case.
not always the case.
So the killer the director makes this psychotic decision, which is going to, you always go like in slasher movies, like, okay, where's your setting? Is it a summer camp or is it a sorority house or whatever? This one's going to be a theater. How do we keep everybody here? He's going to lock the doors, and he gives the key to one of the actresses and says, hide it. And so they lock the doors and keep everyone in. We're all going to do this play. The killer quickly zeroes in.
Like, I'll do it too.
Yes, and finds the guy wearing the owl mask and kills him.
Bye, Brett.
And takes his place. Now, how does the killer announce themselves in the production?
There's a scene with one of the women on the bed writhing around.
Who had been given the key to hide.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's important.
That's important.
She's doing a scene that I don't know what
Again,
it's supposed to
vibes.
be. Yeah, she's just in a
Doing
nighty,
an
flopping on a
Boil
bed.
it down and imagine it's just like it's any slasher scene where the girl is getting ready to go to bed. She's put on her thing, and you notice someone's watching her, and then she ends up getting killed in her bedroom. This is just the theater interpretive musical version of that.
Yeah. There's a lot of interpretation happening.
Yeah.
And the owl killer comes out and he's like, do it, kill her. The director's.
He is being directed.
Yes. And he starts strangling her, and then they're like, yes, keep doing it. This is great. And she's clearly being strangled to death. And then he pulls out a knife and they says, hey, what's the knife all about? And then everyone just sits there and watches him stab her to death.
Right.
Right there.
They do nothing.
Graphically, nobody
Even though
gets
a
up
knife
there.
wasn't supposed to be in the scene.
Yeah, so I
But
suppose.
this production is such a mess. Like, who knows? Like, I wouldn't have known either way.
But the
until-
director said, hey, what's with the knife before he even started
Improv.
stabbing? Yeah.
He did say he was going to make some changes.
He did.
Oh, that's right, because
To
he
be
was
fair.
going
and it
to.
feels like this is changing a lot. So
Yeah.
who knows?
Yeah, so maybe that's it. Nobody was prepared for what was going to happen.
Right.
They're like, is this part of the show? Or is this really happening?
Yep.
And then the owl man vaults off into the backstage, and they all run up to then they're like, I mean, they're not really concerned about her too much. It's more like, she has the key. We have to get the key. We can't get out of here without the key.
Paul Sorvino grabs her and he's like, "Where is the key?"
Like shaking her. It's like,
As she's dying.
like,
Yeah.
bro, she is
dying.
bleeding out.
Yes.
Like,
she's not
all-
conscious.
Right.
Oh, the phones have been cut.
Yes.
And they can't get out, so they can't alert. There's police actually stationed outside.
Yes.
There's two cops that we keep cutting back to. These cops have nothing at all to do with the movie. It just keeps reestablishing that they're there
Yep.
because there's going to
Yeah.
be a big payoff later.
A big payoff.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the point of keep cutting back? You're just like, there are cops sitting outside. They're
They just
eating their
want that.
tuna
They just
sandwich.
want you
They
to.
want-
They just want you to know how close.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they try just like banging on the walls and being as loud as they can, and that doesn't work.
But there's a rainstorm.
Yeah.
Fucking rainstorm going
Yeah.
on, so they can't hear that.
So
All
then
convenient.
they decide we can't get out. We're trapped in here with a killer. So we are going to
split up.
and hunt him down.
Don't they all go to the dressing room first to
They
kind
all
of
go
like
to the
hide?
makeup room, the
yeah.
dressing room. Yeah, they're gonna hide in there.
Yeah, they go in there first
Mm-hmm.
because then we get a death.
We do, but why did the two decide to leave?
They went to the office
Right.
to look for
Key.
a key.
They were
Was
always
this
looking for key.
Sting and the pregnant woman?
Yes.
Sting and the director.
Yeah.
Sting,
Sting and the director.
Sting and the director went to.
Sting got the woman pregnant.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is pregnant.
That was that's like her thing. Is
Yeah.
she just
It
got
is.
the call, found out that she's
And she's
pregnant,
throwing up a lot. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they went to look for the key, and then in the meantime, the other ones are hiding out in the dressing room. And Owlman has found like a smorgasbord of
Right.
weapons.
We see the
Right.
view over the tools that are his options for
Right.
murder.
This was great.
It was delightful.
What did he have?
Options for murder.
Anything he
copyright
wanted.
1025 cents.
Yes.
But the camera somehow like lingers on like a drill
On the
press.
drill that can't
Yeah.
move.
Like, what the fuck is he gonna do with the drill
I know.
press?
And he passed over like all your classic carpentry weaponry. There was a nail
hacksaw,
gun.
a nail
a nail gun, an axe.
Yeah.
And it might be one of the special movie nail guns that can shoot 20 feet across
Yeah,
the room.
exactly.
So who
I don't know
knows?
how you can fuck that shot up. You just pan over and then
Yes.
finally the axe and the hand comes
The
in and
hands
grabs
comes
it.
in, yeah.
But no,
Yeah.
Yeah, Halloween has done this.
it ends on the shot of the dough press push in. And we're
Right.
I mean,
Maybe somebody will get there
but
at some
to
point.
be fair, none of us expected it.
Yeah.
because it was never used.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we're there.
What?
He does end up finding a drill somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cutting class used something similar to
Oh, I
that,
forgot
didn't
about
they?
cutting Class.
There was some sort of, because they ended up in the shop class at the end, and there was some
all
sort of
the
thing like
sparks
that.
were
Yeah.
Going off and nobody
Yeah.
could.
Yeah, because somebody's face was this close to a saw.
Right.
Like that.
Right.
It was Intruder that actually sawed
Yes.
somebody's head.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 Okay, I remember because now, like I mean, in slasher movies, I don't unless your memory is better, like the order and how people get
Right.
killed. You go, okay, what death scenes do I remember?
One dude
I
with the-
So we get it
remember.
through the door.
Mhm.
Is there a woman who hides in a closet?
She doesn't die though.
She doesn't die. In
Yeah.
there. She gets
She doesn't
She just
die.
gets scared.
stalked in there.
Mhm.
She gets scared
Because
in the
this is
dressing room.
earlier on when Brett's still around. Because she thinks it's Brett that is pulling
The
prank on her.
owl man actor.
Yeah,
Right,
Owlman
okay.
actor. Yeah,
Okay, so she doesn't get killed. So
correct.
Who-
There's a backup Owlman costume. Can you imagine if there were two Owlmen walking around in this movie?
Oh, I would hate it. I would hate it. It'd fall under my two
Michaela,
monster
there's
rule. I'd be
two
like,
monsters.
no, I can't do it.
Immediately leaves.
Thank God it didn't do that.
Oh, come on. You get two owl heads walking around? I mean, make exceptions.
We do get a red herring owl.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
Mhm.
Oh, we do.
We do, yeah.
We do.
yeah. But
So the
that
first
comes,
one is the choking. He gets choked and then he gets drilled through the door.
Oh, okay. So that one was
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah.
That was pretty
Are we
good.
saying that
yeah,
was good?
That
Yeah.
was
That's
pretty
good.
good.
Because you don't know what's happening at first. He just gets a blood spot on his shirt.
I
Well,
like
so
that.
so the killer reaches in through like a peephole in
I
the
guess.
door porthole.
It looks like one of those things where you slide it to the right
Yeah.
and you're like, what's the password?
What's the-
Yeah.
Ooh, can I put one of those in my door?
There you go.
Yes.
I'm like, how do I
You
do
can.
that? Yeah.
All you need is a
Absolutely
drill
can.
press.
Hell yeah.
A lathe. So yeah, the killer reaches into the dressing room where they're all there, which is he's brazen, right?
Right.
He does all this stuff right in front of people.
He
Yeah,
is
what's he have to
psychotic.
lose? He doesn't
Yeah,
have
he's
Yeah.
to lose.
psychotic.
So he reaches in, grabs this poor sap, and pulls him up to the door. And then we're like, okay, so is he just going to strangle him? But then the red spot appears on his shirt.
I like when this happens.
Yeah.
It's always good.
And then the shirt starts stretching out, and then
Yeah.
the drill bit comes through. I love it. It's pretty
Yeah,
solid.
so he just
Yeah.
went zzz, right through the door and got him. So then everybody, well, I guess they're already freaking out. They freak out. There's that one woman who really freaks out.
Yeah, the pregnant lady who won't stop yelling.
Yeah.
Just screams.
Sybil.
Just
Yes.
Sybil. Yeah, Sybil. That explains it.
Does anything happen with the during this, the killer's always playing, or there's music from the production.
Right. He
playing.
stops to turn it on several times.
Yeah, because it
does.
covers, I guess, what he's doing. Because nobody, the guys who went to the office, for instance, can't hear the
Yeah.
Right.
screams.
And it
I think
it
he
makes-
just wanted a soundtrack.
He is an
definitely.
actor.
Yeah, he's
Definitely.
an actor.
But it makes the movie confusing sometimes because it's just like, what is the score happening right now? 'Cause
Right.
You think it's for the movie and just like, oh,
Yeah.
it's playing in the background.
And it has that, I think, probably learned from Dario Argento. Like some of the murder scenes are scored to like hard rock guitar.
Right.
Yeah.
I saw Simon Boswell was in the credits for the music. He had done like Hardware, Dust Devil, the Richard Stanley movies, and Lord of Illusions, the Clive Barker movie. So
I mean, when they cut to the scenes where they're doing like the 80s music, I do dig it.
Yeah.
It's good.
I like it. It's
You know,
fun.
it's just bouncing in your seat. You're just like,
yeah,
yeah, let's murder some people.
It's pretty solid. I like the music.
It was like I think those were like tracks from Demons or
Right.
adjacent to like something they had composed, the same band or whatever. So then I think they go the remaining cast goes to hunt down the Owl Man.
Right. So they realize that he got a tool from the backstage, and they're like, "Hey, we can go like power up and
Shit,
get tools.
I forgot the tool room.
We can go get some tools.
There's
We've got
everything we
weapons."
need.
He's like, "We got weapons," and then one dude's like, "Or we can break down the door," and they're like, "That too." So they all go and arm themselves. One of them just picks up a rock, which I think is funny.
That was great. I'm like, what the fuck is she doing?
There's so much to choose from. She's just looking at the rock going, I could do something with this.
And that's also the moment when they point the spotlight up and see him in the catwalk.
The owl
Yes.
guy.
Yeah.
Like an
Yeah.
owl.
There he is.
He's roosting in the rafters of this
Yeah.
warehouse.
Now, I mean, this killer was an actor. Yeah, I really wish he'd gotten into the part. I would have liked some owl sound effects coming from him.
Right.
That's maybe only when he gets caught, especially in this moment. He's like,
But he's like, shit, they found me. I'm going to run off. And the director is like, Sting, get up there and cut him off.
Yes.
Split up.
Go,
And-
go.
I got to tell you, I said this to Sean as we were watching the movie. I mean, I never really had a good sense of geography, like where anything was. It was like shots would cut, locations would cut together, and I'm like, where are we? Like,
Right.
what is this place we're at? So one guy runs one way, and the other guy runs, and then they're climbing ladders.
They meet at a door.
And in the what's that called? In the
Catwalk and the loft. And,
fly it up to not the wings, the theater. Yeah, okay, up there, the catwalks. And
the wings. Yeah.
I think our heroine.
Waiting in the wings.
Oh yeah,
that's-
she's climbing up the ladder behind the other girl, and the other girl like kicks her off, and she falls.
Wait for me.
Yeah, she falls and gets knocked
Although
out.
if we were trying to climb a ladder and escape from a killer, and someone just grabbed my ankle, I'd
kick her too.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Like,
Right.
Come on,
Stupid.
climb. Wait
yeah,
for you.
she like gets knocked out.
Move your ass.
Why do you knock out your final girl, your potential heroine of the movie, like halfway through the movie?
So you can kill off the other ones,
It's a fair
and she's
question.
safe.
Okay, so the other ones get killed, and this is where the gore effects actually start kicking
Surprising.
in.
Yes.
Surprising.
Who dies first?
Brett.
Oh
Yeah.
shit, that's
yeah,
right.
That's
Mhm.
true.
Yep.
It's over. It's all over.
Yep.
That's
So
the
they
director's like, oh,
that's
no,
when they're in the rafters, right?
Yeah.
And then they see like
rafters.
the owl man crouching down, and the director hits him with an axe, and then when they notice his hands are tied up and unmask him, and it's Brett.
Oh no! You
Classic.
killed Brett. Oh my god! And then
And then it's the one girl through the
Pregnant
attic.
girl. Sybil.
Floor?
falls through the.
Yeah.
well, the
or
owl
she-
man
she
like
get- she
They're
gets
in like a
pulled
crawl
through.
space,
he
yeah.
reaches up all of a sudden from
From below.
Yeah.
Oh, he's above, but he's below.
Yes.
yeah. We're like okay, in the
But-
catwalks.
Well, that's
the
what I told you.
rafters,
There's probably like a good 10-foot section between the very upper and the below. There's
But it's
just-
also full of water.
yeah, that's a weird place.
It's like knee deep in water.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm like, where in the fuck? Okay, so she gets pulled down. They try to pull her back up,
Best scene in the movie, I think.
and all of a sudden, it's just her upper torso. Like she's
Yes.
been bisected, and we're like, whoa, she's dead.
With like
And
a
so-
trail of intestine.
Yes.
Which is surprising. We didn't hear anything.
Right, right.
She is just pulled up and then in
Right.
half.
Is this,
Right.
was there a shark down there? Like, what the hell
Right.
is that?
There's
Just, like,
water.
It was
biting
good.
people in half.
That's how you wake people up for the second half of your movie.
Yeah.
Like, all right.
I
I'm
did
in.
wake up right then.
Because then Sting, who's totally straight, is like, you just killed the mother
Straight
of my
Sting.
straight Sting. Just killed the mother of my child. So he hops down there to take on Owlman.
Yes.
That was great too, because he
Yeah.
hops down into the blackness.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, Owlman comes out of nowhere with a
the
chainsaw.
chainsaw.
Fast. We're talking.
It was
This dude's on the
spooky.
edge of the
Yeah.
right side of the frame, and as soon as he drops down, Owlman's on him
Yeah.
with a
Yeah.
chainsaw. It's
Love
great.
it.
And he just also got bisected.
Yep.
Yes.
Saws him in half. through
Which
the
I think
waist.
everybody is watching
Yes.
as this happens.
And shining a flashlight on and screaming.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
So the survivors of the attic attack make
Right.
their way back downstairs.
Yep, we've got the director and the other girl.
Oh, the one who was hiding in the closet.
Yep.
And
The one that kicked.
this, I think
Laurel?
Laurel's whole story was like she was just playing. She was the one who was all padded up, right?
Yeah, she
Yeah.
was basically. She had another part, but she was also the understudy, and she would have taken the lead
Mhm.
when the other girl
Right.
got fired.
Right.
Yeah.
She was fired because she left to go to the doctor.
yeah.
And he's like, "You're fired." And
Yeah.
Laurel's going to take over.
Yep.
And now, so Laurel is clinging to the director as they try to escape
Yeah.
through
They
because
ru-
he's
They
like,
run to the door.
doesn't he have a hatchet or something?
He's
He's
an
like,
axe. Yeah.
I'm going to hatchet this big metal door,
Yeah.
as you do.
As you do.
And then the owl man, of course, chasing with the chainsaw, is like running after him.
Right.
So how does the director save himself?
Director literally throws the girl at him.
Yes. And she gets
True,
hit
yeah.
in the neck and like collarbone, clavicle area.
just
Yeah.
Across the chest.
Yes.
Although I gotta be honest with you, that when I saw it, I thought maybe it was like a glancing move.
Yes.
Something.
That's what I
It
thought
seemed
too.
like it.
Yeah, it was like, oh, she didn't really
No, it
suffer
was-
too much from
Yeah,
that.
it was just like a little cut across like her
Enough.
shoulder.
Enough to cut her clothes off.
yeah,
That's
about
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
But later we found out that's not true.
It's
She was
much
actually
worse,
mortally
yeah.
wounded.
No,
But
later on she looks like an extra from the substance. She's just like, what's
Yes.
going on?
she's holding her own
She's
skin.
holding
Yes.
her body together.
Yeah. when we find her later.
But
So
the director is cornered at the door he's trying to escape from, and he's trying to argue or save his own life with the killer, and the killer takes his arm off.
Yep, chops
Just
his
right
arm
at the shoulder, cuts it right up.
Yep.
Yeah.
off. Nice
But
clean
then-
cut.
Yep.
as the killer's about to saw his face off,
Yep.
it turns out he runs out of gas in the chainsaw. Unfortunate.
mhm.
So the director is like, I'm going to grab the whatever axe that I had in my good hand that's lying over there. But the killer's on top of it and stops that from happening. And then I believe the killer he picked up the axe.
And then knocks his head off.
Yep.
Right.
Home run.
Chops
Yes.
that off.
So that leaves only our heroine.
Yes.
And the other girl who's
Has
Crawled
escaped.
away.
Yeah, crawled
Mhm.
away.
yeah. Yep.
Wait, there's two girls?
Yep.
Yeah, shower. Don't forget the shower.
Oh,
Yeah.
the shower,
Yep.
right? Yeah.
Yep.
So So then we settle into the part of the slasher movie where final girl is alone in the house and she has to hide from the killer, and there's suspense. As the owl-headed killer wanders around and she finds the other victim in the shower.
She sees a bloody shower, yeah. And like the bathroom's like all white tile, like
Yep.
white fluorescent light. And seeing the like owl killer in that light was so much more unsettling than all like the shadowy stage light.
Yeah,
I
it
thought this
was.
part was creepy,
Yeah.
especially when he pushes the mask up against the like transparent shower curtain.
That was,
was
the scariest
spooky, yeah.
shot of the whole thing. I was just like, oh.
Yeah.
I kept thinking
Didn't like
of,
that.
Isn't the fourth kind?
The fourth
There's a lot of
kind, yes.
alien-
There's a
or
lot of shit
owl
like that.
imagery.
Yes.
Yeah, I kept thinking of
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
It's like, oh, that's creepy.
I think she evades capture by
She
hiding
does.
in the
She hides in
adjacent
the next
stall,
shower, and
Yep.
the owl guy grabs Laurel,
Mm-hmm.
and it's gonna
drags her body away because he is assembling his masterpiece.
truly
And what is that?
the ensemble cast
Mm-hmm.
on stage.
He's brought everyone he's killed and posed them on stage. It's amazing.
Yeah,
Love it.
Is this very American for the killer to grab his people and assemble them places, or set traps as we see?
Yeah.
Hanging, swinging bodies, and you open a room and there's the collection of bodies. That happens a lot.
I think, is that-
Halloween,
Halloween does it a lot.
tour strip, Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I
These
mean,
all like
Friday the 13th.
this is
I mean, like,
yeah.
it's
It is an American thing.
that-
Yeah.
It feels like
that
an American
is where at least it's a hallmark of the slasher
Right.
movie.
Yeah.
Right?
House of
That's
Wax?
what makes
Yeah.
That's
Like,
what
you
makes a
just collect
slasher
them.
movie
If nothing
different
else-
than everything else.
Right. If nothing else, for your main character to run into the room and see all the
Yes,
horror
and be
that's
horrified,
happening that
yep.
you didn't know about.
Happy.
The realization that they know everyone is
Birthday
dead.
to me.
Yes.
Happens to
Yep, you collect
Thanksgiving.
them all. Yeah, they all do it. Yeah, this is a
Everyone does
slasher
it.
movie
Yes.
thing. You got to do it. Otherwise, you're not a slasher movie.
Yeah.
If you don't have that, the killer's lair.
Yeah.
So, our heroine, Allie, has found a gun in the desk drawer of maybe Willie or something. She's looking for the key because she's like,
In a junk drawer.
yeah.
It's in a junk drawer. Yeah.
Just loose in a junk drawer.
Because there's like a bunch of random keys
Yeah.
and a gun.
Yeah.
Yeah, the organization of this place is not good.
No.
Like everyone's junk drawer. Guns, keys,
Yeah,
you
it's
know.
in there somewhere.
Oh, there's my gun.
Yeah.
I was wondering where that was.
So she is the witness to the killer's final ensemble. I like that he's got the director's head, like on a
I
little
love
plate.
that.
The bisected body. They've drilled a
then he
hole
places
through.
it
But then he puts it on a
to look right
mannequin.
at him.
Yeah.
Yes.
It stuffs owl feathers in his mouth or something.
Yeah.
I don't
No,
know.
this full. It's a full tableau.
It's a
Yes.
whole thing.
wonderful.
And then
It's
Lucifer, as the final amazing touch to this, accidentally walks by a plug or an electric
It's
cord.
not
and-
an
and
accident.
turns
He
the-
knows what he's
Yeah, all right,
doing.
It's true. It's his assistant, but he turns the fan on, and the fan gives us the
Like-
greatest atmosphere we have for the
Yeah.
rest of the movie.
Owl feather snow.
Yeah.
Owl feather snow
Yeah.
everywhere.
Wonderful.
It is wonderful.
And then he sits in the chair. He has the key wedged down in between the wood planks as like bait to get her to come out. And
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Or is that where what's
I
her
thought so. I thought
face-
that's where she
face
hid it.
Hit it. Yeah.
Oh, I thought he. Well, I thought
thought it
he
just
knew it
ended
was
up there.
there. Oh, I thought he knew it was there.
Because the key that's in there is a different key than the one that opens and locks that back door.
I thought we saw him put it down in the wood. Did
I
we
don't
not?
remember.
I don't think
I
so.
can't
Okay.
remember.
Anyways, there's a key in between wood. That's all that matters.
Yep.
The point I was getting to is that he's sitting in this chair holding the axe, petting Lucifer, sitting on his lap. I want this image on a T-shirt.
It is good.
Apparently
it's
about
like
to
right here.
sleep.
It's like the claw from Inspector Gadget.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
cat on his
Next time,
lap.
Gadget.
It's great.
And so he's just resting. He's like, my work is complete. Apparently, he doesn't know that there's still one person unaccounted for. She has a gun. She could have shot him right there, but instead of that, she takes
She's
the
told that
riskier
many
move.
times.
Yes.
Many times.
Yes.
Shoot him between the eyes.
You just forgot to take the safety off.
Yeah.
I was, but again, like we discussed during the movie, I was just hoping for the bang flag that came out of it
Yeah.
because it's
We
theater.
wanted it to be a
wanted
prop
gun. Yes.
Yeah.
And again, I think it still could have worked that way. I think it
Yeah,
still could have worked.
if
You
it
know-
was close enough to his face, the bang comes out.
Yeah.
And
or
impales
because
him
she
in the eye.
doesn't, because how she uses it, it clicks and she throws it away and it's not used anymore until
Or the
later on.
lighter gun.
Something,
Yeah.
yeah. It would have been good.
In a post-Rust world, that should be the legislation. Your options are either you do CGI or you get the bang
Or you get
flag.
the bang
That's
flag.
it. No
Yeah.
blanks, no nothing in between. And that'll force people to do the right thing and just do CGI. It's like, do you want the bang flag? Do you want to take all the seriousness out of your movie? Okay, it's either that or you hire artists to do it. That's it.
I
So-
like that it's a threat, like condescending to a child.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you want the bang flag?
Right? Yes.
the squirt gun.
Because that's how we get the bang flag.
Yep.
So
Damn it, Pam.
she undertakes instead of shooting him, while he's apparently sleeping in his throne on the stage,
Just walk up and shoot him.
she crawls underneath the stage floor to try and loosen this key, which is wedged between two boards. Lucifer, of course, right? That darn
Sees
cat.
what's going on.
Yeah, and he's all like meow, meow.
I mean, he's a cat.
Was it the music? The music finally, like this, blaring music. Finally,
Yeah.
the tape runs out. Right. That was the thing that like gave her away. The tape runs out, and then the killer's like, "What? I can hear something happening down there."
Runs out, but then she does get the key. She got to loosen it.
Do you think he thought he was having his torso moment by doing this? Do you think he thought it had the same amount of intensity as like in Torso when the key drops out
Right.
on the newspaper
The
and she
movie
pulls
Torso,
it back?
yeah. Possibly.
Yeah.
How successful was he?
It's it's
We're talking about
suspenseful, but
director,
it's
yeah.
not as good as the
Yeah.
torso scene. That
No.
just one is just masterfully done.
Yeah.
But
but
she does get the key. She tries to exit from underneath the stage, and she is caught.
Ah!
By the
He's
elephant.
there. And so a showdown ensues. I think the gun doesn't go off.
Yeah, she didn't take the safety off. We'll hear a lot about that, like how it's
Yeah.
later on.
Yep.
So she stabs him in the eye with a screwdriver or something.
Yep. And he's fine.
He's
Yeah,
fine.
it just slows him down a little.
Screwdriver.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
As you said, in the brain
Yeah.
screwdriver. Like,
But apparently it just
But
pops
whatever.
out his eye.
He's
It doesn't
fine.
like matter at all to
No.
the rest of the movie.
right. Have we ever done the study? It is just soft tissue from eyeball to brain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's how you
Nothing
do
else
it.
There.
Yeah.
He should be
He
dead.
should be dead.
Yeah.
Or at least a little, he can't use his legs or motor
Right.
skills. For the
He
rest of his
should
life.
be
He
dead.
should be dead.
A chase ensues back up into the catwalks. There's like a whole quote unquote suspense sequence where
Yeah.
he is thrown off or loses his footing, right? Because I think she sprays him with a fire extinguisher.
She does.
Yeah.
And he gets tangled in a cable, but it's like
Because getting stabbed in the eye through the brain doesn't stop him, but a fire extinguisher, that's
Right.
too
Sure
Knocks
much.
him off. And
Right.
This man
That's
has
too
incredible
much.
upper arm strength.
because
Especially for someone who's been strapped to a bed for who knows how long.
Yeah. Not exactly going to the gym.
No,
every
not
day
very
is
long.
this
Because
guy.
remember, we see
yeah,
him.
he's brought into the
We
mental
see the
Yeah.
we see the cops bring him in at the beginning.
That's right.
So, which
Yeah.
implies that this massacre that
It's recent,
yeah, it just happened like
Yeah.
the day before.
I believe you. I just don't remember.
Yeah, I remember him being wheeled in and whatever. So yeah, the fall. He should die from the fall from the rafters, but
He should.
He's on the cable, and the cable keeps on like detaching up top, so he gets lower to the floor. Then you're like, okay, dude, you can just hop down
Yeah,
from
just
here.
jump
Right.
No.
But no,
One track mind.
so he climbs back up the ladder. She's swinging an axe to try and cut the cable. It's very dramatic. Is she going to get it cut before he gets up there?
She does.
Yep.
She does. He falls, boom, to the floor, the stage floor.
And we're like, this is not enough because he's got a big old helmet on protecting his head from this fall.
Yeah.
So
we know.
Never
We've
mind what it
seen-
would do to the rest of his body.
We've seen these movies before.
this
They're
man
never
just took
dead when
a
you think
screwdriver
they're
to the brain. This fall's not going to kill him.
They
Yeah.
really are going for the Michael Myers route.
Yes.
Yep. So she goes down there. She's like, I'm going to get myself out. I have the key to the door,
Mm-hmm.
but the killer's still alive. And so, yes, dear listener, you were paying attention about the Chekhov's burn barrel.
Yes.
Barrel fire.
Yeah.
She tips it over and sets him on fire.
Yep.
And he dies in a horrible death.
I thought he would go up to the stage on fire and set the rest of it on fire with all those,
Yeah.
with all those feathers and the furniture.
They didn't have enough money
Oh,
for
that's
that.
old shitty wood that is dry. That
Right.
go up in a second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't have the budget.
No,
Had to protect the
because
location.
because that would have been it. She would have gone outside, watched it burn.
Yeah, watched
as
it burn.
You do at the end of the
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, then she would have gotten her Halloween. We would have knocked out Halloween like 1 through 4
Yeah,
in this one movie
Right.
if we
And
had gone
he
that
could-
route.
Right, and he could still like survive and just be a burned husk with like half an owl face, with
Yeah.
the other face in there and shit.
Yeah. Right? It's like embedded in his skin.
Yeah.
For the second one.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, it becomes part of him. And he's just like, oh no, my makeup is running. And then he adds more to it.
Yeah.
It's more horrible and disfigured for the sequel. and
This is a
everything.
better movie.
I like this.
Aquarius too.
No. Why ruin it?
So she gets out and the cops are still waiting outside, and so she's rescued and the press is all over it, and it's like, great, movie's over, but no, it
I
doesn't.
want everyone to go back and listen to, because she's in the car and the press are just at the windows asking her questions, taking pictures. Go listen to the
There
audio.
was.
Because there's some weird shit that gets asked of her.
I was wondering how
Those
they
questions-
recorded it. Is it a bunch of people in a room just like throwing shit out? Because it's like that goes on too long.
It does,
And
there's
they're
so-
like,
there's
we have-
random questions about. I think there's questions about her outfits. There's questions about. It's so. Go listen to it because there's little Easter eggs and shit.
Why
in
did
there.
you choose that costume?
Right, there's so much weird shit in that conversation. I was listening to it going, what are they asking her? But you got to listen hard. So I go back and listen to that.
Well, she goes to the hospital. She's rescued.
does.
And
Back to the
you know, the press is all over the thing, so like it's a big deal. The what is it called? The stage
The
What?
soundstage murders.
Oh, the Soundstage Massacre, which was one of the titles of this movie.
which
Yeah.
then soundstage implies
That's a
that
better
it was a
title.
movie that they were shooting.
Well,
Not it's not a
I don't
theater.
know what play
it's still-
terminology
it's
is. Yeah.
soundstage. It's the basic soundstage.
Yeah, but were they making a
Which is a
movie?
warehouse.
I didn't see any camera
No.
equipment.
No, it was a
No,
play.
it's- play.
It was a
like,
play.
It almost feels like this was the rehearsal space and the play was going to happen somewhere else. Maybe. I
Oh,
don't know.
maybe.
No.
I don't know. It doesn't.
Doesn't seem like this has money.
It
Yeah.
doesn't, the money. It doesn't seem like the budget was well enough for them to
Right.
be elsewhere. So, but it's like a soundstage.
Well, she realizes that this expensive watch. I'm not even sure. I think we mentioned the watch earlier.
We did. It has
Who
watches.
knew it was going to be? What was this? And we don't
It
know.
was
I'm sorry,
expensive.
not expensive. It's just
It's expensive.
Because her friend wonders why. Like, I'm surprised you even leave that lying around
Yeah.
because it looks expensive.
It's an expensive watch.
Yep.
So she's like, damn it, I am going back into the crime scene to get that watch if it kills me. And she finds
Enter
Willie. Yeah. And he's like, oh, it's all over
Willie's
the
the
news.
worst.
You're in the papers.
The
you know?
afternoon paper.
Yeah.
It made the afternoon paper.
Because they
That's
do
still a
print, they
thing.
do the morning print,
Yes.
and then if something else changes or they got to add something, do the afternoon run, and then there you go. When papers used to matter.
Yeah. And so she again cons Willie into letting her into the
Yes.
crime scene. It's like, no,
a mere what?
and nobody
8
can-
hours max after
Yeah.
this happened? Like,
can't let you in there. Please,
Yeah.
Willie.
Okay.
yeah, okay.
And so in she goes, and the whole time it's hilarious.
It's very funny. Like I don't know if we can do it justice.
I don't think we can.
How much he explains to her what she did wrong in shooting it.
It's
Okay.
like what it felt like was that they didn't really have, they had a couple lines of dialogue, but the scene runs on so long.
Yeah.
So the actor is just trying to ad lib as best as he can.
He's just
know.
saying the same things over
Yes.
and over again.
Because that's the best that he
I
could
shoot him right
muster.
between the eyes. Right
Yeah.
between the eyes.
Yeah.
It's like you could have shot him. You had the gun.
You just didn't have the
turn
safety
on, which is your problem because you didn't turn the safety off, and you didn't even load a bullet into the chamber.
And you didn't turn the safety off.
Yeah.
You dummy.
So she
That's what it felt
figures out something that escaped me because the importance of this I didn't realize at all.
No, this is all we
Yeah.
wouldn't, the audience would not. This
No.
is all based on her figuring it out right then.
Yeah, but it's like they took 8 bodies out of here, and she's like, wait, 8? And then she counts through and remembers everybody who was up on that stage, and she's like, but there should have been a 9th body. The killer?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I assume.
That's the whole
Yeah.
point is that there's markers, crime scene markers for every body that they took out of here, but there's not for the body that should have been of the killer.
Right.
So we're -1.
And so the killer shows up
Mhm.
and attacks her again.
Burnt motherfucker.
And this time, Willie, though, taking his own advice, appears as Deus Ex Machina and shoots the
Dead
killer
shot.
right between the eyes.
One shot. Yep.
Just what I said, right between the eyes.
Yep.
And then he ad-libs that, which kind of read like Willie has fucking gone crazy. He just killed a man.
Yeah, I think.
And he's
yeah,
like-
really needs to
Wait,
be
do you think he was trying to make that his version of I shot him 6 times?
Yeah.
Dead between the eyes.
Shot him
Yes.
between the eyes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right between the eyes. Shot him right between the eyes. Like I told you, right between the eyes.
Yep.
I'm not doing it
It's like-
justice.
and then he's
but-
like, I never killed a man before.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about this.
and so traumatized Allie
Okay,
leaves.
all right, hold on. Before we move on, our killer has been shot in the head, right between the eyes.
Mhm. And then
He's also
it.
had
That's
his
it.
eye
He's also
gouged
had his
out.
eye
Yeah.
poked out, but it doesn't show up.
When we're looking
When
at
we're
his
looking
body,
at
he
Mhm.
still has
I
both
just want to
eyes.
get that across for the
Yes.
Yeah.
where we go from here.
Yeah.
We're not saying it.
Her watch broke.
yeah.
Shattered. She dropped it from 4 feet and it shattered. On
Yeah.
the floor.
Well, I think you got hit with was it the axe or whatever
Yeah.
what was in there? Whatever was
Right.
sitting there got hit with that.
Possible.
And so the
There's no
killer.
evidence.
No, I think they show it.
Do they?
So we close in on the killer's body, laying there, both eyes intact, barely burned, shot between the eyes. And he turns and looks at the
And
camera.
now smiling and turning to look at the camera.
And
moving.
boom, that's the end of the movie. Paving the way for a sequel that never materialized.
Right.
Unfortunately,
Somebody cut in the end of a take
Yep.
to fuck with the rest of this movie.
is that just him being like, okay,
yes.
and cut? And he's
That-
like, haha.
That is
Right.
the
They
end
just
of a
cut it
take
in.
that they left in there.
Yeah.
And be like, what if he was alive?
Yep.
Without
Dun, dun,
thinking of any
dun.
logic to
Yeah.
it. They're just like, because this is how slasher movies end with the
Yeah.
killer who, oh, he's still alive. That's the only thought process that went into it.
And we can't do his body's not there because we just did that.
We just did that. Right. So we did
Yeah.
that. And then they do the killer still alive thing, even
Yep.
though it makes no sense.
Yep.
And that's stage fright.
That is stage fright.
Or
Also
Aquarius.
Aquarius. Also
Deliria.
Bloody Bird. Also Deliria. Also the Soundstage
Bloody Bird.
Massacre.
All right. Well, now
Thanksgiving 2. Bloody Bird.
Well, we're going to tell you what we thought of Stage Fright. But first, we're going to read some of your mail. And in order to do that, we're going to summon our mailman, Igor. Bring us the mail.
Masters, the mail. I've got the mail. So many letters. Our followers are rising.
Why, thank you, Igor.
Do you think we could get a bird mask like that on him? Like a big
He's
one?
not
like
wearing one?
that? No.
Oh.
No, he's naturally feathery.
Oh, okay.
Just in that spot, though.
His feathers finally came in.
Yeah, finally. It took
Couple
decades.
hundred years, yeah.
You know, we have been visualizing Igor our own way for years, but listener...
Sometimes very tall. Sometimes
Yeah,
very short.
he's like, he can be whatever you want him to be. But
Yeah.
Joey Blythe, a longtime listener, has been creating these like AI posters.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Was it Igor and Loomis eating spaghetti?
Yeah.
Yes.
that-
That
yes.
was, yes.
That was beautiful.
Yes, that was delightful.
What was the catch?
There was sauce on the spaghetti. Though.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
The one for this movie was really good, too.
What was the tagline?
Oh, let me
It
pull it
was
up. I
like
don't remember.
something, but Igor always delivers.
Yes.
It's a massacre.
Yeah.
You know, something. Joey, thank you very much.
Yes,
Those are great.
We had a lot of fun with those.
We had a good laugh over those. Those are good.
The show must go on, and Igor delivers.
There
Hell
you go.
yeah.
Stage fright.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love it.
All right. Well, we should let the good folks at home know how they can participate on this interactive portion of our show by following along on Facebook,
Facebook.com/Saturday Night Freak Show.
on X,
At Sat Freak Show.
by email,
Yahoo.com.
or on Instagram at Saturday Night Freak Show. Oh, we should also say here, MF Mad, the keeper of the Saturday Night Freak Show
Doing the
Wall of
Lord's
Fame.
work.
He is, because he found out that Barbara Cupicetti,
Yes, I had this written down too.
Oh, you did?
Go
Is
ahead.
this
Yeah.
Alicia?
yes.
Okay.
Well, you recognized her?
She
I
did
will-
look
from the
kind of
credits.
familiar.
Okay, we've
Yeah.
done 3 movies with her.
Okay.
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 You
What
guys wanna
else?
Take a guess.
No.
I mean, Italian. Think that that direction.
And you know, if you go
Blood
with
and Black Lace.
Michele Soave,
Yeah.
Blood and Black Lace.
Oh,
Torso.
Cemetery
Opera?
Man.
Cemetery
She was in
Man.
Cemetery Man.
Cemetery Man.
Oh,
of
that's
course.
all right.
But yes, opera. She was
Okay,
also
I was
an
like, was
opera.
she
Yeah,
an
she was an
opera?
opera.
Oh,
Yeah.
so she loves
Yeah.
the stage.
and we got another one, Mickey Knox, who
Okay.
was the old cop.
Okay.
Oh, the
Yeah.
one who spinach.
Yeah.
Spinach.
And we think maybe he was the other cop. Was that Michele
I think
Soave?
it was.
Yeah,
He
it
looked
looked like
like-
him.
He
Yeah.
looked like what's his name, who plays all the creatures in
Oh, the tall guy.
Doug Jones.
Doug
he looked
Jones.
like
Oh yeah. That's why I was like, he looks like
I kept looking at him going like, why does he look like Doug Jones?
But Mickey Knox was also in Cemetery Man, and he was in Ghoulies 2.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Ghoulies too.
What a resume.
Well, about tonight's movie, Stagefright, James Boyce writes in and says, another movie I have on tape. I know what I'm watching this week. This one is gory and Italian and sleazy as heck. My math is wrong with this one because I haven't heard the lead in yet, but I swear Colin's pick isn't up yet.
no, surprise. This is not a Colin pick.
Yeah.
I've warped them.
Yes.
Now they're seeing.
this
Colin's like, I secretly get all the picks now because I've influenced you all, right?
Yeah, can we get
Because didn't I pick the last one?
Yeah.
The last Italian one we did?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
I did.
that was at the
Someone-
fifth chord, yeah.
If there's anyone out there who does any sort of artwork, can I get I want Colin just leaning over a pit with his fingers out with strings coming down and us as the puppets.
Oh, see, I
That
want
he's puppeteering towards Italian giallo.
I want us as the tango and cash rats that he's holding above the maze.
I would also
Ding-dong
love
and
that.
Oh, boy. Well, James also says, thanks for picking the lair of the white worm.
Yeah.
You're welcome. My
It's
pleasure.
delightful.
Because he had been
That was
suggesting it for Listener Choice Month for years.
I
That
He
was
know,
fun.
says,
yeah.
I get why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He says,
Yeah,
seriously,
why didn't you recommend it sooner? No, I'm kidding.
he's taking the win. He says, seriously, this is why the Freak Show has been my go-to for 7 or so years now. Very few channels cover this kind of absurd movie I like, and none of them do it with your combined pizzazz.
Oh, thanks.
Aw,
Thank you very much.
you.
About the lair of the white worm, my mostly unfabulous life says, finally. Another person very happy,
Very happy.
that we're
Yay.
doing the movie.
Understandably.
Says Hugh Grant's first movie, I believe, a young future Doctor Who, a post-dynasty Catherine Oxenberg, and Amanda Donahue chewing the scenery, and a cast along with Ken Russell's usual bonkers filmmaking. This should be a fun listen. Well, I hope you liked it.
hope so.
Yeah,
Sound
Ken
down.
Russell. I was talking to somebody at work about Tommy. And they brought it up. I'm like, why do I know Tommy? Why do I know Ken Russell? I'm like, oh yeah, we just talked about it.
The lair of the white worm. Angus McFrankenstein
Oh, great.
says, I haven't seen the movie, and after hearing the discussion, I'm going to have to add it to my personal list.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to paraphrase this here, Angus, but Angus was looking for other films or characters where you have snake women. He ended up finding the Lamia, which is a Greek myth about a woman who's like, half woman and half snake. And then I'm like, isn't the Lamia the demon that goes after in Drag Me to Hell? Isn't that they called the Lamia?
Oh.
Right, in that
Was
one?
it?
The only thing I know, like it said, is The Golden Child with Eddie Murphy has a snake woman in it. So
Yeah.
it's the bad guy. So there's that.
Well, so does Night of the Cobra Woman. You want to look at
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Down.
There's also a 60s movie called The Snake Woman.
Ooh.
And he was also wondering why there isn't more snake monster movies. And we're like, well,
I
we
agree.
did.
Yes.
We've done Anaconda. What? There's another one coming out.
We haven't done snakes on a plane.
We shouldn't.
Oh, my
and-
God. Night of the Cobra Woman sounds awesome.
I'm like, I'm
What
putting that
year?
on my list.
Oh, my
What-
God.
what year?
1972.
Oh, okay. I
After
like
being
this.
bitten by a cobra in the Philippines, Lena can turn herself into a snake and she stops aging. The curse comes with a price. The priest is Lena. Okay, this is going way too long. You get it. Okay. I've heard enough. I don't need to
I'm
hear
putting it on
anymore.
my
Yeah,
list. We're going
sold.
to
She
look into
can turn
that.
into a snake and she doesn't age. I'm not
Sold.
seeing a problem here. It sounds
was-
great to me.
So
I saw one that Dean Cundy was the director of photography on. It was called Jaws of Satan, where
Hell
a
yeah.
snake gets loose. But it is the devil. like actually, you know.
But that's
'cause
a
it was in
great
The
title,
Exorcist era.
Jaws of Satan.
Jaws of
Oh,
Satan.
the cover is so
We've
cool.
talked about that before. Jaws of Satan.
Look
I
at this
think.
poster, guys.
That's Jaws of Satan.
It's a black and white snake with like a
that's
cross
good.
in between the teeth.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
And that font.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
We've
awesome.
talked about that.
I actually have a
yeah.
copy of that movie. I'm just saying if
Oh,
you
yeah.
need.
Do
Yep. It came on a double feature with something else. It was one of those MGM midnight movie things.
Well, there you
Should
go.
that be added to lists?
I mean, maybe.
Yeah, a preacher whose ancestors were cursed by druids battle Satan, who has taken the form of a huge snake. Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Hell yeah.
Brother.
Teresa Ann writes in about Lair of the White Worm and says, I'm surprised that no one mentioned that Amanda Donahue was also Jim Carrey's sexual harassment loving boss in Liar, Liar. That's how I know her
She was,
the
yeah.
best.
That's amazing. I love very specific roles like that you remember people for.
Apparently,
It's
that's
my
what she's
favorite.
most famous for.
Really?
I'm sorry,
It
Teresa.
is! I knew her from somewhere.
Comedies are my blind
I'm
spot.
sorry.
She's the I've had better woman. I've had better.
I'm sorry. I had that in my notes too. I totally forgot to bring that up.
She is. That's crazy.
Speaking of how she appears in Lair of the White Worm in her ceremonial regalia, Michael Whitaker says, I actually first became aware of this design for a character because of the cartoon Freakazoid, which borrowed Lady
Freakazoid.
Sylvia
Freakazoid.
Marsh's final form for the character Cobra Queen. At least that's what I think.
That's so cool. I love connections like that too.
He also attached a picture, and it does look similar, so I can see it. Pat Hetfield writes in and says, Happy birthday, Sean.
Thank you.
And may you and the other internet superstars enjoy this hallucinogenic, blasphemous confection. While we're on the subject of Ken Russell, how about getting around to watching The Devils? You can't go wrong.
yeah.
It's getting
That
brought
one
up,
looks
so-
really
Yeah,
We'll
we're
write
gonna
that
we're
one
gonna
down.
dive into more.
Thank you. I
Don't you worry about that.
Yeah.
He's coming. He's coming.
And this one's from Boy with the Jason Tattoo, who says, Hey, Freak Show, I'm doing a back catalog listen, and I love the Rage Carrie 2. I remember my mom calling me into school so we could go see it during a Friday matinee. And thank you for
Good.
all
Oh,
the
yeah.
kind
Good mom.
Hell,
Good
yeah.
mom.
He also posted some photos. He listened to the Silent Hill episode. We were talking about the video game Night Trap, and
Yep.
he found at a garage sale
Oh my god, that's so cool.
Night Trap.
Wow.
So
Yes.
there you go.
Garage sales are magical.
Go
like
garage
that, man.
selling.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they are magical.
Yeah.
It's a.
I mean, I found the book version of The Slap. Didn't even know that existed. Had no idea.
It is a trip into the past.
And honestly, even for $1, I was like, I don't think I want to read it because it looked like it was like 400 plus
yeah.
pages, and I was like, come on, a slap? Why are we having 400
Yeah,
pages?
and Michaela, after the fact, mentioned this to us. And I was like, why
Yeah.
did you not buy the slap book?
It's too long. Yeah, I'm not going to read that.
But there was a TV
haven't-
series based on
I
it.
have not brought myself to watch the whole series. How am I going to read the book if I can't even
Two
finish
series.
the series?
Because I think it was
It was Australian, and then it
before,
was
and
a
then
U.S.
maybe the American
adaptation.
version.
Yeah.
And then there's parodies.
And they're
galore.
each 10 episodes. I haven't been able to finish that. I'm definitely not going to read the book.
The
Like,
slap heard
Yes.
throughout the neighborhood.
Yes, throughout suburbia.
Yeah, suburbia.
Yeah.
There you go. Well, thank you, each of you, for
Thank you
writing
very
in. We
much.
really appreciate it. We appreciate the photos and the art and everything that you do.
Yes.
Thank you. Now we're going to go around the table and tell you what we thought of tonight's movie, starting with
Holly, what did you think?
I'm torn on this one.
Yeah, it's tough, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm torn on this one because it took a long time to get into stuff that entertained me in this movie. A lot of it goes on far too long, and I just mean like random scenes go on way too long. Yeah, this one's hard because we did have fun with it, but it was really late in the movie that we had fun with it. And by then I was like kind of just ready for it to be over.
There are lulls.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it started out bonkers for sure, but it wasn't even in a good way necessarily. I don't know.
Or was it the best way?
I don't know. I'm really torn on this one.
You will not be blamed either way you go.
I know.
You are safe.
I know. I'm going to say you don't have to watch this one. Yeah. I didn't hate it. Like I said, there was some good stuff, some fun kills, some fun moments, but overall, I wasn't super entertained by it. To me, the scariest part was that fucking mannequin. That mannequin was terrifying.
Yeah, there is one mannequin within this movie.
They
that
keep,
is-
like-
they keep showing.
They
and
keep
it's
showing
terrifying
it for
every
like
time.
no reason because it doesn't play a role in this at all.
But it looks like a human being.
It's really scary. That was
not the mannequin at the very beginning of the movie, which they toss into the air. During the musical scene.
that was funny. That was funny.
That was the best.
Yeah.
That was the best mannequin.
Yeah, it definitely has some moments that were funny, some that were just stupid and outrageous and funny, but it wasn't enough. Like I feel like it wasn't. I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna say you don't have to watch this one. It can be fun. I would say watch the last 20 minutes. But even then, I don't know. I don't think you're missing anything if you don't watch it. So I'm going to say pass. Yeah. Colin, what do you think?
I'm also going to pass.
Yeah.
I think the problem with it is, well, there's a couple. I think it feels long. I thought it was long too. It was like a slog to get through. You're like, I'm bored. It's because it's this really fine line that I think directors toe when they're trying to create suspense. If it's a suspenseful scene, you're on the edge of your seat, but you're actually just watching somebody walk around through every room and check every possible. And you're like, okay, you have to establish to me what the threat is. And I think going off of Halloween, they're like, just cause he's there, he could jump out at any moment and get you, but it's not done. It's not, it's in the execution that I guess it's just not put together well enough and I didn't care about any of the people. I was going why is this asshole the most, active, character, the director? Cause I'm like, he's the main character.
It's his show, Colin.
Yeah.
It's falling apart.
It's his
in front of
vision,
eyes.
yeah.
And then I didn't really have any sympathy or really know who
Or care for-
Alicia was. It's like, okay, she's another actress. She's down on her luck, but they're all down on their luck.
Yeah. There are other people more interesting than she is, and we follow her for the last of the movie.
And they're
It's
not
like-
even that interesting.
Yeah, and that's it. It's just and that's limited.
I mean, I think those are the two primary things I would say. Then 3 is geography. It really is I don't know where anything is taking place. It's just shots that you're in buildings and they're going through rooms and doors. And I'm like, I don't know, a killer could be anywhere,
Yeah.
Nothing in this movie that happens is logical in any way.
No, but the kill scenes, because I mean that's how you got to grade a slasher movie is how good were its kills, and I'd say it had at least I'm gonna say it had 3, but maybe 4.
Oh, I'd stick with 3.
3 decent, okay, that's I came here for a slasher movie, I got what I wanted. But the movie around it, unfortunately, doesn't, carry it along. So I'd pass. Sean, what'd you think?
I agree with you too. It's not a hard pass. I'm not angry at this movie. There were some good stuff in it and some entertaining stuff. But there's a lot of time spent with characters that I want to care about, but they don't give me enough to it. And there's a lot of just kind of wandering around the catacombs of the theater, and yeah, just because he's there doesn't mean it's tense. Just because he's around and everything. I don't know. Everything you guys said pretty much hits it. So yeah, I'll pass on Stagefright. I'm trying to think of all the other 10 names of this movie.
Pick one.
There is another movie called Stagefright that
There
you
was
may
multiple.
have.
There's a few.
Yeah, be careful. Yeah.
There's a really old one.
If you want to pull this up on IMDb, it has to be Stagefright one word. Otherwise, it pulls up all the other ones.
The other one was a musical.
And there's a 2015 movie called Stagefright.
Meatloaf is in it. I saw
Yeah.
that it takes place at a summer camp where they're putting on a musical, and I think it's a musical slasher movie. That one was. I had high expectations and it failed.
I think this movie advertises itself right with a man in a giant owl head,
Correct.
and that will draw some people in. And if that is something that you think looks interesting, go for it.
I wanted to like it because of that.
Yeah, that's usually a thing we're just like, all right, yeah, that's interesting. It's different.
Instead, you
Something
should
I've seen
see
before.
what was it? Blood. What was the turkey bone?
Blood feast, blood.
It wasn't Blood Feast.
No, it was
Blood Freak.
Blood Freak.
Okay, but that movie's on
I picked it. I can't remember.
Okay, but I feel like comparing those two is
I know, but
unfair.
it's
A guy
unfair.
with a big bird head.
That's where the similarities end. Yeah.
Right. But this is a guy putting on a bird head. That guy had a bird head. It was fun.
Parasite is
I
unfair.
want a real bird head. No, I'm kidding. But there's elements there, but it's just not enough to give it to tell you to take your time to watch it. So I will pass on Stagefright. Michaela, take us home.
I detest theater kids, so the idea of them all being in one place and being the victim of a slasher movie is delightful.
Dear
to me.
Brailer, did you hear the anger in the word detest?
Because they never grow out of it. That's who they are for life. And have you ever had to
And there are
work with
many-
someone like that?
Oh, that
They're
make it their
impossible to work with.
personality,
Yes.
and they stick with it.
Yeah, and they just they have like an immaturity to them that they just can't shake off, and it's very frustrating to deal with as an adult. It was frustrating as a teenager too. Never liked Kit, never cared for it.
Michaela is the killer in this movie. Killing all the stage.
I just
kids.
feel like the frequency of secondhand embarrassment you feel as an audience member is so much higher watching theater than watching basically anything else, right? Like the opportunity for secondhand embarrassment is always right there. Is they just so many people think they're good at it when they're not, and they just I don't know something. It's like they lack shame. Right? It feels like they don't feel shame in a way that makes me feel embarrassed for them, I think it would have been funnier if these were actually high school kids and it was like a high school theater production. I think that would have been way better than like making them random adults that are like, because I don't believe they're getting paid.
Warehouse. Like,
Yeah. I don't believe they're getting paid, let alone well enough, let alone overtime. Like, I just don't believe that's happening. This production has no money.
Did you see The Gallows?
No, I did not.
Yeah.
But maybe I should.
That's a high school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard about this movie for so long because you just know the owl head and then it takes place on a stage, and I do feel like it delivered on those things. I get what you guys are saying. It does take a while to get it's only 90 minutes, so it feels longer because it just takes a while to get there, and it's not even filling it out with like character development or texture or anything. I don't really know what it's doing, but
We spend a lot of time in rehearsal.
yeah, and it's but
A lot.
the thing is, like, that would have been fine if they would have made the rehearsal like an actual musical, right? Like, if
Yeah.
they did a full musical number, it would have been like, holy shit, that was amazing. Like, imagine, was it Night Train to Terror that had the band? Imagine that, like, energy injected into, like, but instead it's weird experimental performance art that you can't really grasp onto what's happening.
Yeah.
So it just alienates your audience even further. That being said, I did enjoy it, and I think I would recommend it, and I think it's being graded a little bit harsher tonight than it normally would be. I feel like we've watched so many slashers that's what we're comparing it to, but I feel like we've all recommended worse slasher movies than this one. So I'm going to recommend this one because seeing the Italians do a slasher is not something you see every day, and it is like putting it through like a weird filter almost. I don't even know how to describe it because everything just feels slightly off, and I think it's worth a watch. It's entertaining. It does move a little slow, but the kills are worth it. I mean, I had never seen anyone bisected and pulled up through a attic floor like that and done so fluidly that I actually like fell for it. I was like, I didn't expect that.
You will be surprised.
Yeah, it did surprise me. So I'm going to recommend it. I enjoyed it, and it's free to watch literally everywhere. Like, it's on all the free channels. It's easy to come by. So I recommend it.
Did you know that Lucio Fulci, fellow countryman, made a movie called Murder Rock? And I think it is
What?
about people putting on a play that is they're stalked by a
Why
killer.
have we not done this yet?
I think that is like a musical.
There you go, Michaela. Put it on the list.
Look it up. Like, why are you just now telling me about this, Colin?
It just occurred to me.
Yes.
I'm like, oh, the one that you're thinking of
Yeah.
might be Murder Rock. I don't know. I haven't seen it, like I said.
Let's see.
That's
All
what
right.
the one actress was looking at when they went into the tool room. She's looking at the murder rock.
Well, that is Stagefright on the Saturday Night Freak Show. Next week.
It's called Murder Rock: Dancing Death.
Sold.
I'm just saying it's out there.
Everyone's got something to do.
Oh, this
Everybody but you.
you.
What
Yep.
about you?
Next week, we're going to be watching a movie that's chosen by.
Colin.
So, Michaela, I'm taking those words that you just said to heart.
Oh,
that
okay.
sometimes, maybe, that I recognize that I am judging a movie too harshly.
Oh, okay.
And so I think every once in a while you need a baseline, right?
Okay.
You need to know, you got to work up.
Yep.
So we're going to explore the filmography of Neil Breen.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
Neil
Okay.
Breen?
I have not seen any, and I've only heard legends. So this is
Okay,
going to be a
yeah.
real
So
experience.
we're going to go like, we're aiming for the bottom.
Yeah. Okay. Which
And
one are we
see-
doing?
I was like, but which one?
Yeah.
We're going to do, the most freak show ready is probably The Twisted Pair.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Okay.
we're going to watch The Twisted Pair. How you find this, good luck out there, because I think you have
boy.
to buy it directly from Neil Breen.
From his weird website.
From-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's out there. I mean, you can find it, and some of you have already seen it, so we hope you'll join us for next week's
excited.
show. The Twisted
I know nothing, so I'm excited to dive in.
I'm the same thing as Michaela. Like, I know of Neil Breen, but I have not dug into the
Your brain will boil inside its skull. That's all I can say. This is going to be an experience.
This is going to be a good episode. I have a feeling. Right. Yeah.
What?
I can't wait.
All right, so that's next week on the Saturday Night Freak Show. We hope you'll join us. And until then, ladies and germs, the basement is going dark.